If I had a world of my own, everything would be nonsense. One of the most famous characters in literature, Alice, describing her Wonderland, a topsy-turvy world full of riddles, contradictions, and strange characters. For 150 years, the book has delighted and inspired generations of adults and children with its whimsy and imagination. And it was created, rather bizarrely, by a mathematics professor in Oxford. This is what inspired Charles Dodgson. He befriended 3 daughters of the dean at his college, and he took them on a cruise here in 1862. He entertained them with a story of a little girl who was stumbling along the banks and fell into a rabbit hole into a magical world. One of the girls on the boat was named Alice, and she loved the story so much she asked Charles to write it for her. 2 years later, Alice's Adventure Underground was born. Adopting the pen name Lewis Carroll, he published the book as Alice's Adventures in Wonderland in 1865 and the sequel Through the Looking Glass 6 years later. Both have made such an impression on the public imagination that Alice-themed items can be found on everything from lamps to teacups. At Alice's shop in Oxford, the store is brimming with memorabilia and boasts the fact that Alice herself bought sweets there as a little girl. An exhibition at the British Library examines this phenomenon and the different ways artists, musicians, and filmmakers have interpreted the story and its characters over the years.
We wanted to look a bit at the publication, so the way in which the story changed, the fact that 2 new chapters were added, so we have the Cheshire Cat and the Duchess and the Hatter, which aren't characters you see in the original manuscript. We decided to look at the way in which Carroll was involved in Alice's dissemination. So there's this kind of Alice industry, there's memorabilia.
The book is as much loved now as it was in Victorian England, a fact that some literary critics say lies in the writing's ambiguity.
I think it's because these are stories which you can't pin down. They're like little globules of mercury. When you put your thumb on them, they just scatter in all directions. And that means that different readers will get different things from them.
Stories that will surely continue to captivate and mystify in another 150 years. Catherine Stansel, Al Jazeera, Oxford.